All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the Jets just defeated the Houston Texans 30-6 in a downpour at home in MetLife Stadium, advancing to 5-8 on the season. Man, there's so much credit that needs to go around. There's so many people that need to be talked about. And by the way, I actually have a cold. That's why I might sound a little different here. But the man of the hour, right? The guy that deserves the game ball is Zach Wilson. Man, did this dude go out there and show out. I'm so pumped for him. So pumped for him. I mean, you look at the numbers, 27 of 36, over 300 passing yards. Crazy efficiency right there. He was putting the ball in play. He was making smart decisions with the football. He wasn't putting it in harm's way. I mean, you look at the efficiency numbers, that is crazy. And by the way, because of the high completion percentage, you can take a look at time of possession. It's a direct correlation. Right, so he was putting the football in play. That is such a huge plus. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns. So he wasn't turning the football over. Yeah, I know he had the fumble, but, it is what it is. I mean, you look at Zach from a pure quarterback, in the passing game, man, he deserves the game ball. So much credit there. Again, so excited for him. There was so much adversity this season. We had the report come out earlier on in the week about him being reluctant to play. Who knows if that's 100% true? But what we do know, right, the reality, the facts are that it's that Zach went out there today in a downpour and looked the best that he's been really this season. Today was Zach Will. Arguably, it's probably one of his best games of his entire Jets career, but I mean, man, what a stepping stone. What a moment for him to look back and say, hey, you know what? When a lot of people kind of turned their back on me, when the Jets coaching staff opted for Tim Boyle, and, after watching him for 2 weeks and being forced to go back to me, I was able to go out there and throw for 300 yards in a monsoon outside, right? Garrett Wilson had over 100 receiving yards. So to me, and I know a lot of people are crediting Nathaniel Hackett and whatnot. I'm not going to go that far. It should not take Hackett 14 weeks to start playing to Zach's strengths. I mean, you look at Zach, he was slinging the football all around the field, left, right, short, intermediate. He was playing Zach, there were moments where he looked like the BYU version of Zach Wilson, and it was fun to watch, right? Again, I was pulling for him. I'm hoping this continues as the season, progresses here. But, as far as Nathaniel Hackett goes, yeah, the game, game calls, play calling was a little bit better today. But again, to me, it's 14 weeks into the season, we're 5-8, right? Like this is what fans were talking about for a month and a half. It should not have taken the offensive coordinator this long to make this adjustment, this adjustment here, as well as understanding that he got fired in Denver for pretty much the same exact thing. No accountability, no quarterback production, refusing to play to Russell Wilson's strengths. So I don't really want to give Hackett a ton of credit here, but Zach went out there and handled business. I'm so pumped for him. The offensive line was shaky, right? Obviously, we couldn't run the ball at all. That's been a constant theme throughout the Jets' 5-game losing streak. We were penalized quite a lot, but I got to be honest, this was another one of these games where I just didn't really agree with a lot of the calls, right? That I think it was a pass interference, or it was some sort of call on Sauce Gardner, but to me, it looked like offensive pass interference that came on a third and long. Just weird calls like that were happening all day. The roughing the passer towards the end. So, yes, the Jets were flagged a lot again, but to me, a lot of these were ticky-tack. So I don't want to, get on the team too much about it. And at the end of the day, we did win 30-6. So the defense, defensive line clamped down, multiple sacks. Will McDonald, Bryce Huff, these guys were getting after it. Jermaine Johnson looked fast. He looked snappy. He looked just highly athletic out there. Jeff Ulbrich, to me, called a great game. Such a good game plan from Jeff Ulbrich going in. Just being able to clamp down and blanket Houston's offense. Now, granted, that was kind of the expectation. Rookie quarterback going up against a top defense in their house. No wide receiver one in Tank Dell. No tight end. Number one tight end in Dalton Schultz. And then Nico Collins gets hurt early in the game, so no wide receivers 1, 2, and you don't have your top tight end. So, of course, the Texans are down some key players here. But at the end of the day, the Jets handled business, right? They went out there and did their thing. And also, special teams. you got to give credit to special teams. Of course, Zerline knocking in the kicks, but you look at, I actually have to write some of this stuff down. You look at field position, right? Where were the Texans starting in the first half? I mean, they started from their 25, their 20, 26, 2, 5, 8. The Jets were continuously winning the field position battle. It's such a big aspect of winning football games. You know, people need to start to, like, it's not talked about enough. Field position. If you're constantly starting at your own 40, at your own 35, you know, compared to if you have to start from your own 5 or your own 8 or your own 15, you know, you're going to have such an advantage as an offense when you can start at like that midfield level. You know, and you look at where the Jets were starting their field position, they were having some pretty favorable spots. So again, Morstead with punts, pinning him back with punt coverage. Special teams today was rock solid. I loved it. Loved watching it. And you know, I don't want to say it was a complete team effort because we did still see some major struggles, you know, especially early on with Nathaniel Hackett's play calling. The offensive line was not all that great. Zach Wilson was sacked, in fact, 4 times. And again, we couldn't really get the running game going. But man, offense, Zach Wilson specifically, Garrett Wilson specifically, I thought Conklin looked really, really explosive too, up the seam. You know, those guys, I mean, let's face it, Zach willed us to win. We've seen the special teams unit go out there and look great. We've seen the defense go out there, get after quarterbacks and, you know, do their thing. But we haven't seen Zach go out there and throw for 300 yards this season. We just haven't. Today we have. Right? Today we saw that, and what was the result? 30-6 to a good Houston Texans football team. Now, hopefully everything with CJ Stroud is okay. Hopefully he doesn't, hopefully he's not injured too bad. I haven't really seen any sort of updates on it, but anyway, super pumped up about the win. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. It feels great to get back into the winning column and to, end the 5-game losing streak. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.